All right, y'all, welcome back and happy Monday. This is the last full week until fall camp starts. I can't wait. I know that y'all can't wait. And today we're going to be breaking down Tennessee's secondary heading into fall camp. Please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. We're going to be starting off with Tennessee's cornerback room. And all these rooms in Tennessee's secondary, it's subject to change once the season starts. All these players are just super versatile. So what I see is Tennessee's cornerback room, some of these guys could be playing somewhere else, right? So maybe take a little bit of it with kind of a grain of salt, especially the stuff down at the bottom with the averages and things like that. But the blue chip ratio for this room is at 28%. Average size, 6'1", 189. That's a shade up under the NFL weight for cornerback size. They're typically close to like 200 pounds. But on the college level, we're going to be fine. I'm not worrying about that. The main thing is about that height, that length, that speed. We definitely have that. Average class is a redshirt sophomore. So the biggest question about Tennessee's cornerback room is going to be with Jamal McCoy. Is he going to be ready by really week 3? I think that's the target date. I feel very confident that he will be. I've heard some really positive things. Also, y'all see that he's as a 4-star here. So coming out of high school, he was a 3-star, but in the transfer portal, he was a 4-star. Colton Hood, opposite. He was a 4-star coming out of high school. He was a 3-star in that transfer portal. So that's how we look at the star ratings and things like that. But until he does get back, I'd say that Ricky Gibson, obviously, he's going to be one of the starting cornerbacks. But looking at J-Mac, looking at Colton Hood, they could be splitting time at outside corner. I like both of those guys also playing star. Just a really, really quick note, I'd much rather the younger guys be the players coming in to play outside corner versus coming in to be spelling Boo Carter playing at star. And the reason for it is cornerback, your game's going to translate pretty easily from high school to the college level. It's like you either got the skills and you can either physically hold up or you just flat out can't. Now, yeah, you have to know coverages, but it's just basic stuff, right? It's cover 0, cover 1, so on and so forth. All these guys know that. Like, these guys get ball. These are real football players. And if the coverage has to change based off of anything, really the safeties will let those cornerbacks know. Somebody's going to let them know, star player, whatever. And, of course, you want for them to know. But it's not as much pressure for you to understand things. Like, mentally, it's easy for your game to translate from high school to college playing outside corner. But, yeah, I like all these guys. Colton Hood, he played outside corner, and then he played some slot, too, which is Tennessee's star previously. I like him. I think he's more natural playing outside corner, but he could definitely do either one. Marcus Gorey, he could play anywhere in Tennessee's secondary. So where does he ultimately end up at? Really like him playing corner. I mean, again, I like him playing anywhere. And then you've got these freshmen. I like all of Tennessee's freshmen playing at corner. I think that they can all get that done. So that's how that room looks. I feel great about it, honestly. I think that just from a sheer, like, straight up man-to-man coverage or zone coverage period, just playing corner, not even just coverage, but coming up, tackling, everything. This room is going to be perfectly fine. I think that those top 2 cornerbacks might be the best tandem in the whole country. It's at least top 3. And I've gone through and actually looked at the numbers from last year. As far as like a cornerback tandem that's coming back for 2025, this one is right up there, and they're only going to get better. So I feel perfectly fine from that standpoint. Now, let's talk about Tennessee's star room. The blue chip ratio is at 40%. Again, that's subject to possibly change. And if things do change, and of course, we're going to be updating this once the season starts. Average size is 6'1", 190. So that's still like the NFL cornerback size because star is a corner that is an inside corner. That's closer to the NFL size than Tennessee's outside cornerback room. Average class is a sophomore. So Boo Carter, man, he played as a true freshman, played very well. But, him as a freshman early on, he had a couple of issues, right? It definitely wasn't perfect, but he grew as the season kind of like wore on. So saying all that just to say, back to my point, having these young guys playing at star, it's difficult. That might be the second hardest spot on a football team to play, really just in Tennessee's system, maybe outside of like quarterback, like that's the hardest. I think that star is probably the second hardest, and it's very, very close. You have to be able to stop the run. You have to be able to guard different body types. So from those tight ends who can box you out, from the like smaller wide outs that can, make you miss. They're really shifty. And then you've also got the regular size wide receivers, the tall wide receivers that's similar to like a tight end size, but they're just faster. And then you're playing like you don't have any sideline help. You know what I'm saying? So they can run inside routes, outside routes, deep routes, short routes. I mean, everything. And then you also have to worry about stopping the run. So it's a very, very difficult place for you to play. And mentally, that transition is not going to be as seamless as outside corner is. But with that being said, I would feel okay. I mean, obviously, if the staff likes those young guys playing there, I would feel fine. But I think that really Boo Carter playing offense, defense, special teams. He's going to need at least two good guys playing at star that can back him up, that can spell him. I like J Mac, I like Colton Hood, I like Marcus Gorey, and I like those. I like them the best just because they understand Tennessee's system better. But then those freshmen, their skill set is tremendous. That's something else. This room also with the coverage skills. If you look at 2021 from 2023, summer 2023, the coverage of our star players wasn't that great. And last year, it took a major step forward. It's going to take another step forward because we have more depth of players that can cover and do all those types of things. So I feel like this room will be better moving forward. Now, let me show you all this, right? These are the stats versus the rest of the SEC with our cornerbacks and our star players because PFF counts the inside corners and the outside corners as the same thing. So in that first category, y'all can see that Tennessee gave up 121 of the 209 targets. So that's pretty decent. We're at 10th right there. Tennessee does we play more man than we have previously, but we're not just a strictly man-to-man coverage team. We play a lot of zone. So most of the passes that were caught on our players or, on our corners, it was underneath stuff. Like if you look at the yards per catch, Tennessee's a lot higher up on that list with our cornerbacks just because we're letting teams kind of like dink and dunk us. And then as far as the forced incompletions, we're way up there at number 3. I think that's excellent. We have guys that will make plays on the football in man coverage, in zone coverage. They'll come out of their own personal coverage and help somebody else. So love that about this room. I don't think that's going to change. Interceptions, Tennessee's top 5 here. So, 6 picks. I think that's also really, you could say that we're actually tied for 4th place. But yeah, I think that Tennessee does a good job of finding interceptions. And really, the hardest place to get picks, y'all, is playing man-to-man coverage. Tennessee's had several interceptions in man. So we'll see how does the coverage change in 2025. And then touchdowns given up, Tennessee's number 6 right there. Same thing. We could be tied for really 4th place. But yeah, I think that we're doing a good job there. We're not going to give up too many deep passes. That's kind of what Coach Banks likes to do. And then as far as missed tackles, Tennessee is 7th right there. That's a place that I would like to see it go up. And I actually think that for our cornerbacks, for our star players, that can and probably will go up in 2025. All right, now let's talk about Tennessee's safety room. And the blue chip ratio here is at 50%. The average size is 6 feet, 196. That's a shade up under what the average size is for NFL safeties. Average class is a redshirt sophomore. So it's a redshirt sophomore because I put William Wright in this class. He's a redshirt senior, just like Andre Turntime. I don't know that William Wright will get moved here. I like him here because he is that veteran and he's got that safety size. He's very, very physical. He's a walk-on player, but I think that he's looked good. Coverage skills should be perfectly fine. But we'll see, who does the staff actually bring over? Because outside of Andre Turntine, it's nothing but a bunch of very, very young guys, very new guys to playing safety. So I think that it would benefit us to try to find some veterans and move them over if we can. William Wright, to me, just made the most sense. But I think that Tennessee's going to take maybe a pretty good step forward here as far as the man-to-man coverage. But with some of the other things, I can see is maybe taking a step back. It's not that many bodies here. That's one of my biggest things. I've talked about this several times. For me, this is, the second biggest storyline heading into fall camp is Tennessee's safety room. Number 1 is going to be Tennessee's quarterback room, obviously. So how do those things look? But these are going to be the stats for our safeties versus the rest of the SEC. Y'all can see that in that first column, Tennessee is ranked 9th. But pay attention to the targets. So our safeties were only targeted in coverage 66 times. So once you look at that second column, it looks like this is because we didn't have that many targets. If we had more targets, I think that we'd be higher up on this list. Now, could it take a step forward? 100%. But understand something about Coach Banks. He's going to hide the weaknesses in his defense. He's one of the best coordinators that I've ever seen at doing that because Tennessee's safety room hasn't been very talented. Actually, it's probably been the least talented room on Tennessee's team since this staff got here. But looking at some of these other numbers, interceptions, Tennessee is 4th in interceptions with the 2nd least amount of targets. That's huge. Coach Banks takes a weakness of our defense and turns it into a strength. So I don't see any reason that he can't do it in 2025. But touchdowns given up, Tennessee also number 3. That's outrageous. That's great. Really, we're tied for 2nd place. So that is excellent. We're going to be playing over the top and give these guys an opportunity to, kind of come down and make some plays if need be. But the biggest thing is, hey, we don't want them getting isolated in one-on-one coverage. Let them just play some deep zones and things like that. And it's worked out for us. Now we've got a very young room. Before, we've always had veterans playing at safety. So it helps you to understand what the offense is doing. But I think that Tennessee is going to be fine. And then missed tackles, Tennessee is 7th here, just like we were 7th with our cornerback and star room. So let me bring y'all on over and let's take a look at some of these clips. This is with all of Tennessee secondary from 2024. Y'all just watch this and see how Tennessee likes to play. But number one for Tennessee secondary, I feel great about Tennessee's cornerbacks, whether that's outside corner or inside corner, playing at star. All those guys, the coverage is going to be absolutely excellent. We can man up, like we can let guys play on islands. That's going to free up linebackers and safeties to run some funky coverages where they don't have to, you're not asking them to do too much. But I also feel like Tennessee safeties can do more man-to-man coverage this season because we have guys that really, they were supposed to be playing corner that we moved over to safety. They have safety size with the cornerback's coverage skills. That should work out very well. They're just new to it. So early on in this season, will we let them play more man? I think that we'll try not to. Maybe play some more zone, play some deep looks like what Tennessee safety room has done previously. And then as the season gets deeper, then we can let them play some more man. And those are the times when you typically will need that because versus Syracuse, yeah, they're going to spread you out. I think that they're probably, like last year, there was close to 70% pass to 30% run. This year, they might try to even it out some, be like 60% pass to 40% run. But everyone in our secondary will get challenged from week one. So we'll have a good understanding of what these guys can do. But I just think that you kind of play it safe for those first couple of weeks. And then versus Georgia in week 3, well, you might need to do, more of that. Hey, we have to show some one-high looks because safeties also have to help out with that run support a lot. Like they've got to come up and almost play like a linebacker. They could be like the second linebacker sometimes or like the third linebacker, which is obviously better if you've got 2 other like real linebackers there to help you out versus that run. But speaking of linebackers, as we spoke on previously, with those backers, if their zone coverage steps up, that helps Tennessee safeties out. The outside stuff is going to be perfectly fine. Safeties don't have to too much help there. But if we can get some help over the middle, Tennessee's defense is going to be tremendously good. This is probably my biggest question, and not even probably, this is definitely my biggest question about Tennessee's defense is how do those safeties look? But I think that Coach Banks has shown and proven, and maybe y'all can kind of tell with some of these clips here, he knows how to put players in the right spots to be able to make plays. He does a great job with his personnel. And if you can play more man-to-man stuff, then you can just, dial up crazy blitzes. Something else, too, that I really have been wanting to talk about, and I typically never do. But with Tennessee's cornerbacks, I would love to see us blitz our corners, like outside corners, more. Coach Banks didn't do a lot of that last season. And I think that it was just because he didn't want his safeties having to man up. But now that we have safeties that can man up, expect some more like cornerback blitzes. And that's tough. I mean, Tennessee didn't get any sacks versus UGA or versus the Buckeyes. I think that part of that was just because we had like the same like blitz packages. Showing some different looks, that'll definitely help you out in a major, major way. And also, just speaking of those 2 programs, they were the ones that last year they were able to get our safeties isolated in some one-on-one coverage, and we didn't look great in those situations. It wasn't absolutely horrible, but you could tell that was an area that teams couldn't always find a way to, get those guys isolated. But those 2 programs did. And typically, if it's like a 3rd and medium or a 3rd and short, the safeties will probably have to come up and play some type of man. One of them is going to have to come into the box because teams could run it. And also the routes and stuff, they're going to be like short routes and things like that. So you want to try to clamp down in those types of situations. But this could maybe make Tennessee's 3rd down defense even better than it was last season. And I'm not taking a shot at any previous safeties. I think those guys played well. But the skill set this season it's going to be better. Like we have more chess pieces that will fit what Coach Banks likes to do. And look at that. I love that play right there with Ricky Gibson coming out of his zone to come help somebody else. Those are the types of things that Tennessee's cornerbacks can and will do. That will help Tennessee's safeties out. That'll help Tennessee's linebackers out. If those 2 spots can help the cornerbacks out some more, we'll be perfectly fine. I'm not too much worried about Star, because we do have those veterans there that can come in, spell Boo. Just hoping that guys can stay healthy, right? Because Boo means so much to us on defense. Playing more snaps, maybe, that could that just might not be the most positive thing, honestly speaking. So we need for some guys to step up. But like I said, we've got so many young players that I've had the opportunity, to either coach or to like talk to and things like that, or just watching them play. You can tell that they really get football on a very, very high level. So I think the Tennessee secondary is going to be perfectly fine. I think that our entire defense is going to be even better than it was last season, just because we have more talent and we have more like chess pieces and that's what Coach Banks thrives off of. But those are my thoughts. Y'all please share yours with me down in that comment section. And as always, please do make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And we'll be talking to y'all later on. Thanks, peace. Thanks for watching, and please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel because that keeps us growing inside of the YouTube algorithm. And if you did like this video, here's another one that you might also enjoy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.